Hello everyone. Thanks for tuning into this video in which I am going to explain how we propose to run our meeting on Saturday 13th of February. I see our next meeting as a trial run for how we might organise the rest of our work on the other areas. We'll find time to discuss the later work once we've all had the experience of a focused session on the Constitution. First, let's recall one of the reasons why this assembly was called. As you probably know, the Convention on the Constitution in 2013 already recommended removing the woman in the home clause from our Constitution. The recommendation was accepted by the government of the day, but a referendum to give effect to that recommendation was never called. This was because discussions on how to do it got stuck. I hope that our Assembly can help to resolve the problem through our recommendations. On Saturday, the 13th of February, I want us to focus on deciding what we will vote on in April. We will only vote once at the end of our work, but what we will vote on needs to be prepared in advance. And we've done a lot of preparatory work with legal experts, and we've sent you a number of videos that explain what can be set out in the Constitution and how it affects governments and citizens. Our mandate is to focus on gender equality, so we're going to concentrate on Article 41, which deals with the family. We have identified questions that tackle the core issues. And we propose to focus on the woman in the home clause and the definition of the family, which in Article 41 is interpreted as only applying to the married family. The ballot paper will, of necessity, have more than one question. And this is called sequential voting. That means simply that each ballot depends on the outcome of earlier ballots. Depending on the votes on earlier questions, we may not even get to all of the later questions. Here is an example of one of the ballots from the former Citizens' Assembly in relation to the Eighth Amendment. You don't need to focus too much on the detail of this. The main point of this slide is to show that the majority vote on ballot 2 determined which ballot they moved on to next. And here's a slide that shows you how this approach will work for our work on the Women in the Home clause. First, we will ask you to indicate your choice between three options. Do you want to keep the wording as it is? That's the retain option. Do you want to delete these words in our Constitution? That's the delete option. Or do you want to replace the deleted words by something else? That's the delete and replace option. If the majority votes to keep the wording of the Constitution as it is now, or to delete the current wording, there's no need to vote further. However, if the majority choice is the delete and replace option, you will all be asked to choose between two further options. In this way, you can recommend to the Oireachtas the nature of the referendum that would then have to take place. However, you will not be recommending any particular wording. That is the job of the Attorney General, the government and the Oireachtas later on, if they decide to follow our recommendations. However, using this method, you would not be leaving everything up to the Oireachtas. You would be giving a clear indication about the change you want to see. For example, we will ask you if you want to replace the woman in the home clause by including valuing and sharing of care in the text. And we'll give you a choice between a more aspirational, principles-based language and a more rights-based wording. This flowchart is another way of showing how the sequential voting works. So you can see that if the majority votes to either retain Article 41.2, option A, or to delete it, option B, then that's the end of the vote. However, if the majority votes for option C, delete and replace, then this would bring the members to a second question in a subsequent ballot. You have received a note by email and post explaining all of this. The note contains the questions you'll be asked to answer on the 13th of February in the form of a draft ballot paper. This is how it was done in previous assemblies, and it will allow you time to think about your views in advance of sharing them with the other members of the Assembly. On the 13th of February, we will have limited time and therefore limited possibilities to adjust the wording of the messages you want to send to the Oireachtas. But there will be time for discussion, and I want to emphasise that. I will do my utmost to follow your wishes, so please do not feel restricted in any way in your discussions. I only ask that you bear in mind the limits we're working under and that you bring a fair spirit of compromise to the meeting. After discussion in your breakout groups, we will ask you whether you agree that the questions in the paper are the questions you will vote on in April. You will not be voting on your final position on the 13th of February. You will do this only once when you vote in our April session. And you will indicate your preferences electronically. This means that by the end of our next meeting, I hope we will have agreed on the ballot paper on the constitutional issues. The Secretariat will offer training on how you will indicate your preferences to anyone who would like to have it. And of course, we will explain everything again at the start of our meeting on the 13th of February. When you've had time to study the note and draft ballot paper, I hope you'll feel that we have been faithful to your feedback and that we have captured the spirit and the direction of your views. As I've said before, your ownership of the ballot is what counts in the end, and the Secretariat and I are here to facilitate that process. I'm also proposing that we allow ourselves a little more time on 13th of February to accommodate discussion between us in plenary. This means that we will ask you to be available from 10 o'clock until 4:15 and to only take 1 hour for lunch. I hope it will be possible for all of you to adjust to this slightly longer time frame. We will start our meeting with an explanation of how the day will run, and we'll do an icebreaker poll so that we can all see how a Zoom poll works. And this will help you to ensure that you are confident about how you will indicate your preferences later in the day. We will take each key question in turn. After discussion in your breakout groups, you will come back to a plenary session and you will indicate whether you can agree the ballot paper on the woman in the home. Then, after another discussion session, you'll come back to plenary again and let us know whether you can agree the ballot paper on the questions relating to the family. If questions, issues, or strong wishes for alternatives come up in the breakout groups, we will discuss them in the plenary after lunch. And we will have a panel of lawyers available to answer any legal questions that might come up during the day. I hope the approach I propose to take is clear. It follows closely on the model used by previous assemblies, and the only differences come from the fact that we will be working online in a tighter time frame. If you have any questions about the process, please send me an email through the Secretariat so that we can clarify as many of your questions as possible in advance. It is exciting to be coming to the point where all of our work begins to turn into recommendations. I believe you are ready and that what I propose will enable us to have a clear set of ballot papers by the end of Saturday, the 13th of February. We'll then keep them until voting day on the 18th of April, which will be in our final session. I'm really looking forward to this next stage in our work and to seeing all of you on Saturday, the 13th of February. Till then, take care and thank you for watching.